Comes to mind whenever you hear the phrase eating disorder? Jot down a few short words or phrases of what comes to your mind. Eating disorders can be characterized by any abnormal or disturbed eating habits. There are two major examples of disordered eating. The first is anorexia. This is categorized by fear of gaining weight, distorted body image, and reduced energy intake. Anorexia can lead to skipping meals, counting calories, or abstaining from food entirely for long periods of time. The other major example of disordered eating is bulimia. A few characteristics of this include obsessive control over eating habits, extreme body dissatisfaction, and feelings of self-guilt, particularly after eating. Bulimia is binge eating followed by purging. Both of these disorders can lead to unhealthy weight loss, disturbances in menstrual periods for women, and sometimes even death. So who can tell me what the two types of eating disorders are, and what are some characteristics of each? So why am I even talking about eating disorders when I could choose any topic? Most people do not learn about eating disorders until they are much older. Running around as a little kid, you're most likely not aware of disordered eating, and why would a kid be aware of this? When I was younger, I was obsessed with the Carpenters. My grandparents listened to them all the time, so naturally I fell in love with the band too. The lead singer of the popular 60s and 70s band, Karen Carpenter, suffered from anorexia. Growing up, the singer was called chubby, which led to her extreme dieting. In the mid-70s, her weight dropped below 90 pounds, and it was only then that her family knew she was in need of help. Eventually, this disorder led to her death in 1983, when she died of heart failure. Her death at a young 32 years old was caused by the years of battling with anorexia. Carpenter's death changed the way the nation looked at eating disorders, since this is around the time they were rarely talked about. They realized that it is possible to be too thin. Karen was one of the first celebrities that was noticed to have an eating disorder, and afterwards, multiple other celebrities came forward with theirs as well. Of course, Karen had passed before I was born, but realizing the cause of her death had an impact on me. It made me rethink the way I view body image and food. Even though at a young age, because of Karen, I realized the dangers of disordered eating. It wasn't until high school that it became very apparent to me. Unfortunately, two of my best friends suffered from eating disorders. Both were bulimic and had anorexic tendencies as well. While I was not aware at first, I noticed something wasn't right with both of them. In the first friend, I noticed that she constantly looked at the nutrition facts on everything she ate. She counted her calories for every meal and ate a lot of the same meals every day. She started to lose a crazy amount of weight in a really short amount of time. My second friend would always go to the bathroom right after we ate, and she would be in there for a long time. All of these were warning signs. In the height of their disorders, they had irregular periods, low self-esteem, dangerous weight loss, and even lost whole chunks of hair. When I became more aware and started to ask questions, they let me in, and I was able to guide them to get the help they needed from counselors or parents. They both are recovering now and receiving treatment and getting on the road to recovery. If you feel one of your friends may be suffering or even in the starting stages of an eating disorder, it is crucial that you step in and do something. The sooner you speak up, the sooner they can get better. Eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of all mental illnesses, with at least one person dying every 62 minutes from a direct result from an eating disorder. Eating disorders are not something to ignore. They have serious consequences. You could be the person that saves their life. Don't wait until it's too late.